Ever feel like your notes have notes and you can't find anything? You know that feeling, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you start the semester, you're organized,
Totally.
and then bam.
Life happens.
Exactly. It's like information overload.
It really is.
So what if there was an AI that could, like, organize all that for you?
Okay. Now we're talking.
Right. And not just organize it, but help you actually understand it, use it.
Yeah.
That's what we're diving into today. Google's NotebookLM.
It's one of those tools that could be a real game changer, Like it's AI, but it's focused on how we learn.
Exactly. It's not just another chatbot.
Right.
It's like, how do we take all this information we're bombarded with and actually make it useful?
Yeah, make it mean something.
And that's what's so cool about NotebookLM, at least from what we're seeing from Google.
Yeah.
You basically give it your notes.
Anything, really. Articles, research.
Yeah, whatever you're working with. And it can do some pretty amazing stuff, like, for instance, summarization.
That's the one that grabs everyone's attention.
Oh, for sure.
And
Imagine
check
you
it.
got that research paper.
The one you've been putting off.
Exactly. Pages of it.
And NotebookLM can just give you the highlights
The key arguments, the evidence, all that.
without you even having to wade through all the jargon.
That's the dream.
Right. But it gets even better. It can also help you generate ideas.
Okay, yeah, that's where it gets really interesting.
Like you're stuck on a project, you feed it your notes, and bam.
It's like brainstorming with a supercomputer,
Yes. And it can help you make those connections you might not have thought of otherwise.
which, I mean, isn't that what creativity is all about?
Exactly, making those leaps, seeing those patterns.
And what's cool is that, from what Google is saying, it's supposed to be super user-friendly.
Which is key, right?
Totally. Because what's the point of all this amazing AI if it's too complicated to use?
Exactly. It needs to be accessible.
Okay, but of course, no tech is perfect.
Definitely not.
There are always limitations.
And always caveats.
And the Google info does mention some things we need to be aware of when it comes to NotebookLM.
Right. Because as cool as it is, it's still AI.
And AI isn't perfect.
Not yet, anyway. It's like you wouldn't just trust, like, a map without checking it twice, right? Especially if you're going somewhere new.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Or, like, you read something online, you don't just assume it's true, right? You got to double check.
Right, absolutely.
It's the same with AI. It can give you these amazing insights, but you still need that critical thinking.
To make sure it's not leading you astray.
Exactly. Like, think of it as a really smart assistant who sometimes gets a little,
Overenthusiastic.
yeah, like they're so eager to please that they might jump to conclusions.
Or miss some key detail.
Exactly. So you still need to be the one to say, hold on, let's look at this a bit closer.
Which, I mean, honestly, that's a skill we all need these days, right?
Yeah.
With so much information out there.
Oh, absolutely. AI or no AI, being able to critically evaluate information is crucial.
It's like information literacy is the new superpower.
I like that. And, it's funny because in a way, this whole AI thing is kind of pushing us to up our game in that department.
Right? Like, we have to become even better thinkers to keep up.
Exactly. It's not about AI replacing us. It's about us becoming even more,
Sophisticated.
more discerning. We need to use these tools, but not become reliant on them.
Totally. Okay, so let's talk about the future for a bit, because the Google stuff hints at some seriously cool possibilities, like they mentioned integrating NotebookLM with other Google tools.
Oh, yeah, that could be huge.
Right. Imagine your notes are connected to your research, your calendar, everything.
It's like this interconnected web of knowledge. You're working on a project, and NotebookLM is pulling in everything relevant, making connections you wouldn't even think of.
Okay, that's next level. And they also mentioned personalized AI tutors.
Oh, now that could be revolutionary.
Right. Imagine education tailored to how you learn best.
At your own pace, focusing on your strengths, filling in your gaps.
It could change everything.
And not just for students. Think about professional development, lifelong learning.
It's like everyone has access to their own personalized learning path.
Exactly. It's personalized growth, really. Okay, so we've talked about the tech, the potential, but I think it's important to also think about what this means on a more individual level.
Right. Like, how does this impact me, the listener, directly? It's like we're talking about AI being this study buddy, this brainstorming partner, almost like this extension of our own thinking.
Right, and that's what's so fascinating, but also a little bit, I don't know.
Unsettling.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, if AI is helping us make those connections, are we still,
Growing, learning, evolving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, where's the line between being helped and being, I don't know.
Spoon-fed.
Yes. Like, are we losing something in the process?
Right, it's that classic thing, right? If you rely on GPS too much.
You lose your sense of direction.
Exactly. So how do we make sure we're using these AI tools like NotebookLM in a way that enhances our abilities, not diminishes them.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I don't think there's an easy answer, but I do think it starts with being mindful, like being aware of the potential downsides.
Of being too reliant on it.
Exactly. It's like anything else, moderation, balance. We don't want to outsource our thinking entirely.
Right. It's about using AI to complement our strengths, not replace them.
Exactly. It's like let the AI handle the heavy lifting, the organizing, the summarizing.
And then we can come in and do what we do best. The critical thinking, the creative problem solving, the big picture stuff.
Yes. It's about that synergy, that collaboration between human and artificial intelligence.
And who knows, maybe by working alongside AI, by seeing how it approaches problems, we'll actually start to understand our own minds even better.
That's a really interesting thought. Like, it's almost like AI could help us unlock our own cognitive potential.
Right. By showing us different ways of thinking, of making connections. Okay, I think we've given everyone a lot to think about today.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have. We talked about NotebookLM, this AI tool that could revolutionize how we learn and work.
And we've also touched on some pretty big questions about the future of learning, of creativity, even what it means to be human in an age of increasingly intelligent machines.
Exactly. And as with any powerful technology, it's ultimately up to us, the users, to decide how it shapes our world.
To make sure we're using it for good.
To make sure we're using it in a way that benefits everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the future is unwritten and we have the power to shape it.
And that, I think, is something worth thinking